One day, Ofure decided to surprise Mama Uyi in her house. She went, bearing gifts as usual, as always. But when she got to Mama Uyi's house, she was shocked at what she saw. There, at the living Efosa is a proud man from Edo State. He is loud, boastful, and disrespectful. He doesn't regard anybody, including his wife, Ivie, a quiet, soft-spoken woman who doesn't like trouble. She talks so softly that even their neighbors greet her 50 times a day just to hear her voice. Sometimes, they would knock at her door just to say, "Good morning, no." And whenever she walks, her steps are so light that people say she doesn't walk, she glides. Her slippers never clapped the ground. Some say Ivie was born with peace tied around her waist. Whenever Efosa is at home, everybody in the compound knows because his voice fills the air. If he wasn't asking for his food, he is shouting at the television or shouting at somebody over the phone. Efosa is not only loud and disrespectful, he is also a cheat, and he doesn't even hide it. Yesterday, he was seen with Osawe. Today, it is Orobosa, and tomorrow it will be Adesua. And he always took them to his mother's house so the women wouldn't know that he was married. And his mother, Mama Uyi, would welcome them and even praise his son. Mama Uyi is an older version of Efosa, and the people around usually call them like mother, like son. So it was no surprise why Mama Uyi allowed her son to be bringing his mistresses to her house. Ivie had pleaded with her husband severally, even cried, but Efosa, in his usual proud manner, would say, "It is in our nature to cheat." Or, on some occasions, he would say, "I am the head of this family and I will do anything I want to do. You, Ivie, cannot tell me what to do." Ivie, not knowing what else to do, prayed for him. When it didn't work, she decided to talk to his friends. She met one of his friends at their usual hangout location. Luckily for her, he was alone. She went closer to him, greeted him, and with tears in her eyes, she told his friend everything, begging him to please talk to her husband. But that night, Efosa didn't return home. And when he finally returned the next day, he started shouting at her from the door, "How dare you gossip about me to my friend?" But Ivie apologized, crying. Ivie soon got tired and decided to allow Efosa to do whatever he wants and faced her children and her life. Efosa continued with his promiscuous life. He would always boast to his friends that he can do anything he likes without anybody stopping him. And so, Efosa continued. One day, he went to one of his boys' hangouts with his friends, but this time, they decided to change location. They went to the park, where Efosa met a beautiful curvy lady named Ofure. Ofure was a beautiful lady with sharp eyes and sharp tongue. Ofure had been single for a very long time that she even forgot how to be in a relationship. When Efosa met Ofure, he told her he was single, as he normally does with other women. And Ofure, who already saw Efosa as her future husband, fell for his charms. He, as usual, took her to his mother's house. Mama Uyi welcomed her, telling her how lucky she is to have met her son. And Ofure, seeing how Mama Uyi welcomed her, loved her immediately. She began buying gifts for Mama Uyi, always going over to her house to do house chores. In her mind, Efosa is already her husband, and Mama Uyi, her mother-in-law. She continued doing house chores and even cooking for her. She never visits Mama without bearing tangible gifts. Sometimes she gets her wrappers, sometimes jewelries, sometimes hair, even provisions. She once got Mama Uyi a new phone when she heard that her phone fell into the water. Mama Uyi soon got tired of Ofure's clinginess and said, "Efosa, I don't like that Ofure again. Her kindness is choking. It's becoming too much." But Efosa laughed and said, "Yeah, just enjoy her kindness. She will stop when she gets tired." And with that, Efosa continued bringing women to his mother's house. But what he doesn't know is that not every woman is as calm as Ivie. One day, Ofure decided to surprise Mama Uyi in her house. She went, bearing gifts as usual, as always. But when she got to Mama Uyi's house, she was shocked at what she saw. There, at the living room, was Efosa sitting with another woman. She screamed and dropped the nylon she came with. Efosa looked up and ignored her. He continued with what he was doing. Ofure, out of anger, marched towards them and slapped the lady with Efosa. Mama Uyi, on hearing the noise, came out of her room and asked, "What is all this noise for?" Ofure, on seeing Mama Uyi coming out from the room, was shocked. "Iye, you are around? And Efosa is cheating on me?" she asked Mama Uyi. "Is that why you are creating a scene here?" she answered sharply. "After everything I have done for you," Ofure said, already fuming in anger. "And so, are you the first person to do something for another person? Abeg, come out from my house," Mama Uyi said, pointing at the door. And at that instant, Ofure charged towards Mama Uyi, beating her up mercilessly. Efosa, on seeing that, rushed towards Ofure, and Ofure dragged him into the fight and beat both mother and son mercilessly. When she got satisfied, Ofure left in anger, promising to come back. And true to her words, she returned the next day and dragged Mama Uyi outside, beating her again. This time, publicly. One of the neighbors called Efosa, who was at a hotel nearby. Not wanting Evie to see the bruise on his face, he ran to his mother's house to save her, but as usual, he got beaten too. Efosa decided to take his mother to his house so as to escape Ofure's wrath. When Evie saw Efosa and Mama Uyi's faces and body, she laughed in her mind as she already knows what happened. It happened that one of Mama Uyi's neighbor called her after the first beating and narrated what happened to her. The more reason she didn't panic when her husband didn't return home the previous day. Evie, feigning concern, asked, "Efosa, what happened to you and Iye?" But Efosa shouted at her saying, "Evie, don't question me. Iye will be staying with us for some time." But Mama Uyi's stay at her house made her uncomfortable because she would always shout at her, calling her a lazy wife. "That is why your husband cheats on you," she would sometimes say to Evie. And when Evie got tired, she decided to find Ofure and call her. When Ofure came, Mama Uyi and Efosa, who now stays at home more often, were shocked. She said to them, "So, this is where you are? And you were even married?" And once again, he dragged them and gave them another dose of beating in the presence of Evie and their two children. Efosa, who was embarrassed and in pain, called the police on her. But surprisingly, the next day, she came out and went straight to his house, and this time, she pounced only on Efosa, giving him the beating of his life again. And Mama Uyi, fearing for her life, escaped through the back door, despite the body pain. Evie stood by the side with a calm smile like someone who had never seen pain or felt it. Efosa, after getting beaten, was arrested by Ofure. He stayed at the police station for 2 days, but Evie didn't even pass by, not to talk of visiting him. He felt the weight of his attitude towards his family, his mother's bad advice, and swore to change if he gets out of there. He stayed at the station for 4 days, and on the 5th day, someone bailed him. He came out thinking it was his wife, or maybe one of his friends, but was shocked to see Ofure standing with her usual sharp eyes running all over him. She said, "So you think you will lead me on and dump me? Efosa, the moment your mother collected my gift, you became my husband. I came to take you home." Efosa quickly said with a weak voice, "No, I have a wife. Please, Ofure, I'm sorry. I will change, I promise." But Ofure laughed and said, "Your wife, Evie, is your first wife. I am your second wife. Don't worry, we are cool and she won't even mind." With that, she dragged him to his mother's house, where her bag is already unpacked, and Mama Uyi stood by the door, trembling. Nobody told Efosa to change because he always got corrected with beating whenever he misbehaved. Efosa became calm and even more quiet than Evie, who usually visits them occasionally, and anytime she comes, she is always smiling and laughing with Ofure. That was how Efosa, the once proud man, became a quiet, obedient boy to his karma, which comes in the form of a beautiful woman everyone calls Ofure. So tell me, besties, what do you think about this story? If you were Ofure, what would you have done? And if you would you have fought for your husband's love, or would you have acted cool with Ofure just as she was doing? Please tell me what you think at the comment section. Thank you for watching this story. Please share with me what you think about this story at the comment section. And please, besties, do not forget to give me a thumbs up, comment, share this video with your friends, and most importantly, besties, please subscribe. Thank you and remain blessed.